A 70-mile-wide asteroid called Matilda is approaching Earth, so all the world's governments send a spaceship to try to destroy it. Unfortunately, the spaceship explodes as soon as it enters the asteroid field, which means humanity is doomed. In 3 weeks the asteroid will hit Earth and all life will end. Married couple Dodge and Linda hear the news on their car radio, however Dodge doesn't react, he just mentions they missed their exit. Linda can't take his attitude anymore and abandons him for good. Afterward, people all over the planet start making end-of-the-world plans, especially going through their bucket lists. Signs appear on the street offering services like naughty meetings, searching for friends to spend the end together, and mercenaries even offer to kill whoever isn't strong enough to make it to the last day. However, Dodge doesn't have anything in life, so he continues to go through his boring routine. With 21 days left, Dodge still goes to the gym, which is mostly empty. On the TV he watches a news update informing that all cell phone services are dead and that water and power will follow soon. Then Dodge drives to work and has to deal with worse traffic than usual because everyone is trying to escape the city to go somewhere nice. At the office, Dodge notices only a few workers have come today. He keeps on picking up calls from clients who want to know if there's insurance for worldwide catastrophes and attends meetings that announce there are promotions available for everyone because of all the people who aren't coming anymore. However, nobody from their little group takes the offer. When Dodge goes home, he checks his mailbox but it's empty as usual. He also notices his neighbor Penny run out of her apartment after breaking up with her boyfriend Owen, who is yelling at her. Then Dodge enters his apartment and finds his weekly cleaner Elsa. Dodge tries telling her that isn't necessary for her to come again because of the current situation, but Elsa gets upset because she thinks he's firing her, so he takes it back and she says goodbye while promising to return next week. Then Dodge drinks cough syrup and watches TV, learning that the final flight has taken off and now airlines aren't working anymore. People with private planes can fly if they want, but experts don't recommend it because of the risks. Before going to bed, Dodge finds a spider in the bathroom and gets ready to kill it, but in the end he decides to let it live. That night, the spider walks all over his face. The next morning, Dodge wakes up with multiple spider bites on his face. When he arrives at work, the body of a coworker who just self-deleted lands on his car, leaving him shaken. A week passes and with only 14 days left, Dodge goes to an end-of-the-world party thrown by his friend Diane. She has a teenage boy who insults his parents before leaving and they just insult him back, not caring anymore. Her husband is finally taking out his very exclusive cigarettes and promises to share one with Dodge while Diane comments that she isn't surprised that Linda left him because she was never happy with him. This leaves Dodge in shock because he honestly never noticed. Diane insists on setting Dodge up with someone because he shouldn't die alone, and when Dodge refuses, her husband points out he won't die alone because the whole world is dying together. When the party begins, Diane still introduces Dodge to Karen, who has put on all the fancy things she rarely got to wear. She tries to make conversation with him, but it's very awkward and Dodge doesn't know what to say. During dinner, people share their plans for their last days, like visiting their family or doing things from their bucket lists. Karen says she wants to spend them with someone special while making flirty faces at Dodge. After dinner is over, the party truly begins and gets so wild that people are even allowing the children to drink. Karen dances while still flirting with Dodge, who tries his best to ignore her. A friend tells Dodge that because of the incoming end, women have no standards and every man has a chance no matter how ugly they are. He reveals he was intimate with tons of women last week, and asks Dodge to team up with him to sandwich Karen, but Dodge turns him down. Soon the fireworks and illegal uppers come out and Dodge can't take it anymore, so he hides in the bathroom. When Diane comes to check on him, she shocks him by trying to kiss him. Dodge immediately turns her down and reminds her that she's married, but Diane explains nobody cares about that anymore. Tired, Dodge decides to go home early and think about his old life. While looking at a picture of his high school sweetheart Olivia, he starts to play the harmonica, only to stop when he hears a woman crying on the fire escape. Dodge checks on her and discovers it's Penny, who immediately hugs him as she cries her lungs out. She missed the last flight to the UK, and now she won't be able to be with her family during the end. Feeling bad, Dodge invites her in and shares his cough syrup, which has been mixed with vodka. In return, Penny offers some pot, which he turns down. Penny explains smoking is the only thing that helps her both sleep and wake up because she suffers from hypersomnia, which means she can sleep through everything, even the apocalypse. Then the duo watches TV together and falls asleep on the couch. The next day, Penny continues to sleep no matter how loud the TV is or if Elsa is vacuuming right next to her. Dodge pinches her nose and nothing happens, so he plays the harmonica instead. This finally wakes her up and she announces she's finally ready to go to her apartment. They go downstairs and Penny brings Dodge a pile of mail, explaining that the mailman always sent Dodge's things to her mailbox by mistake. This has been happening for years and she's been saving it all, but she never saw him around to give it to him. The only person she knew is Linda, who Penny thinks was Dodge's roommate because she always saw her very happy with a boyfriend. Dodge is shocked to realize Linda had been cheating on him, so he goes back to his apartment and furiously destroys all of Linda's belongings, feeling like a complete idiot. Then he buys a bottle of blue liquid and goes to the park, where he sees a couple of teenagers kissing and yells to scare them away before drinking until he passes out. His plan to self-delete fails and he wakes up perfectly healthy the next morning, only to find an abandoned dog tied to him and a note that says sorry. With only 12 days left, Dodge takes the dog and starts making his way home. As he walks through the city, he notices people have finally gotten violent, meaning there are fights, fires, and looting everywhere.